afternoon. We are live. I'm Andy Andrews, and you have joined us on the Blue Plate Special. We have an incredible show for you today. We're here at Wisdom Harbor Studios in Orange Beach, Alabama, at the Wharf, home of the famous Marlin statues and the famous escalator statues. If you visit anywhere close to Orange Beach, you need to come see the escalator statues. Take your picture on them. They look just like real escalators. They're life-size and just unbelievable art. If you're new to us, we're glad you're here today. And if you are new and you're on Facebook, then click your notification button right there. And don't forget to turn the notifications on your phone so that when we go live here in Wisdom Harbor, anytime we go live, you will be notified. And YouTube, welcome, and press that subscription button if you don't mind. That would help. And also, a very big welcome to Instagram and Twitter. And if you're on Facebook, share. Okay, this is going to be an episode you're going to want to share. We have some special guests here in the studio, and we have a very special day. This is going to make the Great Chicken Challenge look like nothing today, all right? Hey, how you like the shirt? The shirt is available actually here in the studio. So if you visit or on the website, Matt, can you show them the back of the shirt? Oh, you are showing them the back. There is the back, and there's the back of the shirt, and that is my back. There's the back and my back. We have guests in the studio today. We have guests from Louisiana and Nashville. Which one? Are you Louisiana? Okay. All right, good. And Nashville over here. It's Loretta and Conway. We're glad to have y'all here. Okay. And we know you are just waiting with bated breath. I'm waiting with breath that smells like bait. Eva Jean Hodge, you like the shirt? Everybody needs one of these shirts. I'm just telling you. Hey, Jeff Herring, how you doing? Dolores Lohman? Yeah, okay. Yeah, she says for Polly to go easy on Austin. And but you don't know that they're here yet. We haven't introduced them yet. Marcy Crosser-Taylor, good morning. We can't wait for today's show. Yeah, I can't. And thank you for sharing. Cat Hooker from Spring City, Tennessee, the greatest name of all time, Cat Hooker. George Cosser, George P. Cosser III from Senatobia, Mississippi. It's going to be a good one, and he's betting the house on Polly. Wow. Debbie Black Chandler, hello from Northeast Ohio. Sandra Mendonca, good afternoon from Searcy, Arkansas. And you shared, thank you so much, from Searcy, Arkansas, home of Harding University, where you ate your mascot. That's right. Peggy Key McDuffie from Pelham, Alabama. Bob Woodall, you're coming in loud and clear in Dothan, and he wouldn't miss Miss Polly. Austin, you're getting kind of left out of this. Bonnie Nix. Hey, Polly in Austin. Well, there you go. You got it in Austin. And Heather Olson, warm and sunny in Utah. You just finished reading. Did you finish reading Mr. Harrell's book, Out of the Depths, by Edgar Harrell? If you haven't seen that podcast episode, he was a survivor of the Indianapolis, and definitely go back and look for that one. We're going to get started. Okay, we have a very busy day. Eva Jean Hodge says she's been anxiously awaiting today's guests. And I do want to welcome my guests. These are people that I know and love, people that I have been trying to get on the show for quite a while now. Please welcome Polly Andrews and Austin Andrews, my wife and oldest son. How are y'all doing?
We're good. We're glad to be here.
Well, thank you for being here. Yeah, I mean, I really appreciate you being here, and I really appreciate you, dear, because you actually had this idea, and you really kind of stood up on on your back legs and fought hard in the kitchen that night for.
I'm starting to feel like I've been a little set up.
Oh, why? Just because people are pulling for
People
Mom?
are already rooting for Mom. I mean, I feel.
I don't think it's a setup.
I feel a little.
Well, you
set
just
up.
got to fight hard, okay? Shirley Cole, hi from Kevin Williams' friends from Amarillo. They were here in the studio yesterday. Cindy L. from Spokane, Washington. Now, what we're going to do here today, this is going to be the great story song debate. See, the other night in the kitchen, we were cooking, and Eliza Cosser needs a Just Jones shirt. Yes, you do, little Liza. We were having this kind of friendly debate about.
Didn't end very friendly.
Yeah, it didn't end very friendly. It didn't, and and so we decided to do the finals here on the Blue Plate Special, just so when you're in public, there's no hitting or biting or scratching or anything like that, or spanking. No spanking. And so, my family, especially, and, Adam is right there with you guys. But, of course, where's he?
Fishing.
Fishing. That's right. He's fishing. And you guys are serious about your music. There's Dan Stone. And Dan says, hey, Austin, I appreciate those great pics you sent of the fillet knife. It looks great.
Oh.
So, anyway, story songs are near and dear to our heart. We really like story songs, and so we have allowed the administrators of the show have allowed Polly and Austin to bring to the table their top 10 story songs. And we'll play a clip of them. We'll just discuss them briefly, and then we'll work our way down to number one. We'll start with number 10. Ladies first. Ladies first. So, Mom.
Okay. First of all, it's really hard to narrow this down to 10 songs. I mean,
Right.
and this could change on any given day.
I would agree. Like, I've got my number one, but all the others, I have no idea the
Yeah.
order. So I'm not saying number 10 is necessarily number 10, but 2 through 10 could kind of.
They can fluctuate according
Yeah.
to how you feel that day.
Yeah.
Right.
And some could move off and others could move on. I thought of some today and I thought, oh, that should be on there, but
Yeah,
there's
I
only
did,
so
yeah.
much room.
I noticed you had like a couple of very old songs and one very new song
Yes.
on there on your
Yes.
list. And I noticed, Austin, you had a couple of songs that I didn't even know. I didn't recognize the songs. I didn't recognize the artist. And so anyway, this will be
Yeah. It'll
very interesting.
It will be interesting because I think there will be a very obvious generational difference there. It'll be very obvious that I am a child of the 70s. So my number 10 today.
Wait. Before you say that, let me just say that you will also notice in Austin's list that he is a dedicated child of the 70s because he has some songs from that era on his list. Okay, so go, dear. Number 10.
Number 10 is You're So Vain by Carly Simon.
You're so vain. You probably think this song is about you. You're so vain. You're so vain. I bet you think this song is about you. Don't you?
Carly Simon. And do you remember that song was used as a ketchup commercial?
I had forgotten that.
Yeah.
I'm not sure that's a point in your favor.
It's true.
So
It's
what?
true.
But what? Who was that song about?
Well, there's all this debate about who it is. Warren Beatty gets the top vote, I think.
Gets the
I
nod.
think from the. But again, to me, the song holds up. Everybody can sing it. It's it's just a great song, and I love that she's got his number. She's written this. She had this thing with this guy, and she's got his number.
And that was that-
she's over it.
And that was actually written by Carly Simon.
Right.
So this isn't
Yeah.
something she's just delivering.
No.
I mean, she's like
she's passionate about it.
Yeah, yeah.
She's writing about former boyfriends before Taylor Swift was ever born. So,
Right. That's true. That's true. So, Austin, what is your number 10?
Number 10 for me is Midnight in Montgomery,
By
oh,
Alan Jackson.
okay.
'Cause it's midnight in Montgomery. Just hear that whippoorwill. See the stars light up the purple sky. Feel that lonesome chill. 'Cause when the wind is right, you hear his song, smell whiskey in the air. Midnight in Montgomery, he's always singing there.
You know, that was actually written by Alan. That was written by Alan and a guy named Don Sampson. And are you old enough to even know who he's talking about?
Talking about Hank Williams, right?
Right. right.
you asking or telling?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's so many words there, the whippoorwill and the purple sky.
Especially if you live in the South. I think it's a good story song.
Yeah.
It's a great story song.
You know,
I'm impressed. I'm
Thank
very
you.
impressed.
Thank you.
That was good.
do you know Alan Jackson was, when I first met Alan, he was working in the mailroom at the Nashville Network, wanting to be a singer.
He did all right.
Yeah, with everybody else in the mailroom right then. But okay, dear, number 9.
Number 9, Dan Stone is going to be happy with this one. But first of all, have we noticed there's like a real melancholy theme for so many story songs?
And crime.
And-
a lot of them.
Okay. Yeah, yes. Some that didn't make my list were crime. So this one is The Ghetto by Elvis, of course, written by Mac Davis.
Right.
Then one night in desperation, the young man breaks away. He buys a gun, steals a car, tries to run, but he don't get far, and his mama cries. As a crowd gathers round, an angry young man face down in the street with a gun in his hand in the ghetto.
That one is kind of melancholy.
That is melancholy.
Yeah,
I
that's-
listened to it this morning and I cried again when I heard it.
You know, Mac Davis, the first time he heard the song, he was in the new car that he had bought from the check from writing this song, and he heard it on the radio, and he was upset because Elvis said ghetto. And he's talking to the radio, and he said, "It's in the ghetto. It's not ghetto, in the ghetto." But then he realized he had a new Mercedes and a color television in the trunk, and so he was fine with ghetto.
Yeah.
But there you go. Okay, Austin, number 9.
I gotta look at my list again, sorry. Number 9 is Take the Money and Run.
Steve Miller.
Steve
Band.
Miller Band. Billy Joe and Bobby Sue.
Oh, yeah.
This is a story about Billy Joe and Bobby Sue.
He even says
Two
it's a
young brothers with nothing better to do than sit around the house, get high and watch a tube. And here's what happened when they decided to cut loose. They headed down to old El Paso. That's where they ran into a great big hassle. Billy Joe shot a man while robbing his castle. Bobby Sue took the money and run.
There's the crime.
Go on, take the money and run.
Good story.
Go on, take the money and run. Go on, take the money and run. Go on, take the money and run.
Dan just texted me and said, "I'm not sure we're going to be able to remain friends after those songs you're choosing."
Well, he loves the Elvis song.
Of course he does.
Of course he does. Of course he does. So,
Already lost his
but
vote.
you mentioned, and just remember, our mics are quiet while the song is running. So, but tell everybody what you said.
I said he even says it's a story.
Right.
This is a story about Billy Joe and Bobby Sue.
Yeah.
And it's a crime song.
And it's a crime song.
It's a good song.
Yeah,
That's
that is a good song. But that's one, that he knows that's an old song.
I know.
Okay, so number 8.
Number 8. I don't know that I thought about this as a story song until we started thinking about it because it's so ingrained in us. But it's a happy story song. The Devil Went Down to Georgia.
The devil went down to Georgia. He was looking for a soul to steal. He was in a bind because he was way behind and he was willing to make a deal. When he came across this young man sewing on a fiddle and playing it hot, and the devil jumped up on a hickory stump and said, "Boy, let me tell you what. I guess you didn't know it, but I'm a fiddle player too. And if you'd care to take a dare, I'll make a bet with you. Now you played pretty good fiddle, boy, but give the devil his due. I bet a fiddle of gold against your soul because I think I'm better than you." The boy said, "My name's Johnny."
That is just a killer song. And by the way, Matt has updated us. The microphones are on during the songs.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So do you know that song was written by Charlie and 5 other guys?
No, I didn't.
There's 6 writing credits for that song.
That's a lot.
And that was the year that Atlanta Rhythm Section or Atlanta Rhythm Band came out with Spooky. Mm-hmm. And Spooky was supposed to be a huge, huge deal. And Devil Went Down to Georgia just smushed it. Just really.
Fine song.
Yeah. That is a great song. So, by the way, you guys actually doubled up on 2 songs. And so we'll get to that in a little bit.
Okay.
Number 8 for you, Austin.
Number 8 is The Wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald.
Wow.
That may be one we doubled up on.
Everybody's got to love this.
Does anyone know where the love of God
It's a long song, though.
lives? Turn the minutes to hours.
Listen to this.
The searchers all say they'd have made Whitefish Bay if they'd put 15 more miles behind her. They might have split up or they might have capsized. They may have broke deep and took water. And all that remains is the faces and the names of the wives and the sons and the daughters.
Man, when all that remains, the faces, the names, the wives, and the sons and the daughters. Every time I hear that, I think when he wrote that, he had to be looking for somebody to high five. What? Did you hear that? That was great. I mean, that.
That one takes cake for the melancholy, I feel like.
Yeah, well, that's just one of the greatest songs of all time.
There are some. See, I didn't even write them down because I can't even talk about them. They make me so sad. So.
Okay, so let's
you
get
get sad
happy
song?
here with number 7.
Number 7 is a happy song, Harper Valley PTA, which just makes me smile.
Jeannie C. Riley.
Or Lynn Anderson.
Really?
Well, it happened that the PTA was gonna meet that very afternoon. And they were sure surprised when Mrs. Johnson wore her mini skirt into the room. And as she walked up to the blackboard, I can still recall the words she had to say. She said, "I'd like to address this meeting of the Harper Valley PTA."
And what's the classic line from that song?
The day my mama socked, excuse me, the day my mama socked it to the Harper Valley PTA.
Right. Do you know who wrote that?
I don't.
You don't?
I didn't.
Tom T. Hall wrote that.
I did know that. I did know
Yeah,
that.
Tom T. Hall. Tom T. Hall did some great story songs. You know, The Day Clayton Delaney Died was one of his story songs, and the one about old dogs and children, Watermelon Ryan. That's a great story song about being in the airport with the old man.
I like that one.
So, okay, Austin, number 7 for you.
Number 7, this is the weirdest one on my list. Late July by Shaky Graves.
Okay.
My mama old and gray is sitting at home, weeping away. Oh, her only boy washed down the drain. Gonna take a son home and lock him away. Well, mama should be proud of me. Oh, I live like a man, oh, I'll die like a king, 'cause I'm eager, young, and qualified. Got a day with that chair, oh, in late July. Oh.
Kind of an odd one.
But Shaky Graves, you've gotten to be quite a fan of his.
Yeah, he's pretty cool. He's like playing all the drums in that song himself, like with his feet, and he's playing the guitar at the same time. But the song is kind of an odd song.
Tell us about the song.
So it's about this dude who marries the wrong person. She takes his money. He kills her.
There's the crime.
He kills her, steals a bus, and goes to Mexico and starts growing marijuana. And they catch him and take him to the chair.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that
Kind of covers it all.
Yeah, that's
All in one song.
that's uplifting. Wow.
I do like Shaky Graves.
I like Shaky Graves too. So how's he playing the drum and the guitar at the same time?
He's got the drum on foot pedals on his feet. He's got this little suitcase drum.
Oh, really?
Like he hollowed out a hole in the suitcase and put a foot pedal on it.
Wow.
It's pretty slick.
It's very cool.
That's very cool. All right, Shaky Graves, number 7. Polly, number 6.
Number 6 is a song we generally only hear during the holidays. And it's by, is it Dan Fogelberg?
Dan Fogelberg.
Same Old Lang Syne, which I love this song. It's a great song, but we hear it during the holidays.
He wrote this too.
She said she saw me in the record store, and that I must be doing well. I said the audience was heavenly, but the traveling was hell. We drank a toast to innocence, we drank a toast to now. Tried to reach beyond the emptiness, but neither one knew how.
Wow. I like that too.
I love that song.
Yeah.
It paints a picture. You can see it.
Yeah. Yeah. Meeting an old friend. Yeah. Okay. Austin, number 6.
American Pie.
Yeah. American Pie, Don McLean.
Now the halftime air was sweet perfume while the sergeants played a marching tune. We all got up to dance, oh, but we never got the chance, 'cause the players tried to take the field. The marching band refused to yield. Do you recall what was revealed today? The music died. We started singing bye bye Miss American Pie. Drove my Chevy to the levee, but the levee was dry. Them good old boys were drinking whiskey and rye, singing, this'll be the day that I die. This'll be the day that I die.
Man, that is an iconic song.
That one just makes you want to dance a little bit.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that is an iconic song.
Even though it's a sad song.
And it's another long one.
You know, when that
It's
song,
like an epic.
when that song, when Don McLean wrote that song, the record company refused to release it as a single because it was too long. It was like 6 minutes, and they said nobody will listen to this. Nobody will play it on the radio, and so they compromised and actually put that song on the album at 6.5 minutes. And DJs all over America started playing the album version and playing the whole thing. And so, as somebody who has argued with editors before, I particularly am glad he won that.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you know it's a great song when Matt and Emily are dancing back there in the back.
I told you it makes you want to dance.
Yeah, what a great song. That is great. Okay, Polly, number 5. Count them down.
Cats in the Cradle.
Ooh,
Again, melancholy.
Harry Chapin.
Well, he came from college just the other day. So much like a man, I just had to say, son, I'm proud of you. Can you sit for a while? He shook his head and he said with a smile, what I'd really like, Dad, is to borrow the car keys. See you later, can I have them, please? And the cat's in the cradle and the silver spoon, little boy blue and the man on the moon. When you're coming home, son, I don't know when, but we'll get together then, Dad. You know we'll have a good time then.
That's one of those songs that if you're a dad, that just kills you. I mean, do you know that song was written by Harry Chapin and his wife, Sandy?
I believe that. Yeah.
Yeah.
That is a good one.
I think as a parent, it gives you pause. You know, it's like, holy cow.
Yeah.
Pay
it
attention.
does. It does. You know, Jimmy Yeary has written one that is just as good as Cats in the Cradle. It's called Slow Down, Boy. Mm-hmm. So it's not even released yet, but it's just as good. Okay, so Austin, number 5.
Number 5, I just looked at it. Hold on. My mind's slipping today. Oh, I did Devil Went Down to Georgia for number 5, too.
Okay,
So-
all right. So let's go. Devil Went Down to Georgia.
When the devil
All right.
finished, Johnny said, well, you're pretty good, old son. But sit down in
Okay.
that chair right there and let me show you how it's done. Fire on the mountain, run, boys, run. The devil's in the house of the rising sun. Chicken in the bread pan, picking out dough. Granny, does your dog bite? No child, no.
There you go. George Costner says that he's impressed with your picks so
Thank you.
far.
Thank you, Mr. George.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is important.
And Jimmy Yeary's watching.
He texted me before this and
I know
said,
he
y'all
did.
don't
I
disappoint
know.
me.
He said, don't disappoint me.
Yeah, Charlie Daniels. I did a bunch of stuff with Charlie, and he kind of looked the same way for a long time. And I was at his birthday party one year, and they asked me to say something, and so I said, hey, we just wanted everybody to wish Charlie a happy birthday, and Charlie is 70, and Charlie, we'd just like you to know that most of us thought you were 70 15 years ago, because he did. He just looked the same way for a long time. Okay, counting them down, we are on number 4.
Number 4 is a new song. It's my new favorite song, and it's a story song. And there's another new story song by Chris Stapleton called Maggie's Song, but it's one of those that I can't listen to because it's so sad. It's about
the
a
dog?
dog. About the dog.
yeah.
Oh,
The
holy
dog
cow.
dies. I don't want
can't.
to see another movie in my life where the dog
No,
dies.
and it's a song, but it's a great song. But
Turner
it's
and
like,
Hooch, Oh Yeller, Marley and Me. I mean, I don't
Yeah.
know. Why does the dog always have to die?
Yeah.
And now they're writing songs about dying dogs.
but it's a great one.
But this is, what is
Okay,
the name of
so
this?
number 4, my new favorite song, Leonard Skinner Jones.
Leonard Skinner Jones, hailed from Gadsden, Alabama. Born to carry on, whose mama was a fan of. Don't ask me no questions, and I won't tell you no lies. That's what she always told him right until the day she died.
Who does that?
That's Eric Church. I love Eric Church. He does one of the best shows I've ever seen. Casey Beathard wrote this, who's written a lot of great songs. But this is one of the, there's so many lines in this song that are incredible. And if you haven't heard it, after this, go listen to it. And listen to the very end. Because at the end, it's like, I was driving down the road and I was like, oh my gosh, I was just awesome. I was just blown away.
And I like the fact that Gadsden, Alabama is mentioned in it, because Gadsden, Alabama is just like I mean, that's the home of Rick Burgess, of Bubba Bussey, Rick and Bubba. That's the home of Gordon Mote. They have a Congressional Medal of Honor winner from there. And, Coach and Mrs. Jones actually taught Bubba. She said he was a hellion.
I'll bet he was.
Yeah,
I bet he was. So I will say this about that song. If you don't get it at the end, don't tell me, because I'll be real disappointed in you if you don't get it.
And who didn't get it?
In our family, everyone got it except for you, dear. You didn't get it.
Yeah, that's right.
So
I didn't get
I
it.
was kind of, lost a little respect for you right there.
Where's that?
Okay. Austin, what's number 4?
Number 4 is, let's see. Matt reminded me of this one last night. Viva La Vida by Coldplay.
I used to roll the dice, feel the fear in my enemy's eyes, listen as the crowd would sing. Now the old king is dead, long live the king. One minute I held the key, next the walls were closed on me, and I discovered that my castle stand upon pillars of salt and pillars of sand. I hear Jerusalem bells are ringing, Roman cavalry choirs are singing. Be my mirror, my sword and shield, my missionaries in a foreign field. For some reason I can't explain, once you've gone there was never an honest word. That was when I ruled the world.
Dan just said I just redeemed myself.
That's what Dan said?
I looked this morning. That one has 693 million views on YouTube.
Wow.
693 million views.
Emily leaned in and gave a thumbs
The
up.
numbers don't lie.
I was going to say, that's
And here I have like 17, most of mine. Now, I love that song. Was that you who said that? Oh, that was Little M.
Yeah, she leaned in and gave a thumbs up for that one.
Okay. Counting them down.
Count them down.
Okay, we are going now for number 3, Polly.
Number 3 on my list, we've already heard.
We'll hear
American.
another piece. of it.
It's American Pie. And it's number 3 on my list. 3.
And in the streets the children screamed, the lovers cried and the poets dreamed, but not a word was spoken. The church bells all were broken, and the 3 men I admire most, the Father, Son, and the Holy Ghost, they caught the last train for the coast. The day the music died, and they...
Wow.
I do like that song. It has like all the fast dancey part, and then it's got like the slow part. And
That's true. It goes back and forth. I mean, that's I mean, how many songs do you know that are like that? Not many.
not many
But-
6-minute songs either.
Right. But Don McLean, he will always be famous for that one. I mean, that one will never stop. But it was not the best song he wrote.
Oh, I know which one you love.
I should have put that one on.
I
know what
love
you're
that
about
one
to say.
too.
I should
The
have put that
best
on my
song
list.
he wrote was Vincent.
I love that song.
And that's the Starry, Starry Night. And
I should have
that-
put that on my list.
that song is about Vincent van Gogh. And that song, I mean, just go listen to that sometime. It's just pure poetry. It is just unbelievable.
That one could be on my list on any given day.
Okay. All right, Austin,
Okay.
number 3.
Number 3 is Live Oak by Jason Isbell.
I love it.
There's a man who walks beside me, is who I used to be.
And I wonder if she sees him and confuses him with me. And I wonder who she's pining for on nights I'm not around. Could it be the man who did the things I'm living now?
That's the saddest one on my list.
But that song is incredible. And do you know who wrote that?
He wrote it,
I
didn't
think he wrote it, didn't he?
he? I think he writes all his stuff.
Well, the credit is to Michael Isbell because Jason is his middle name.
Oh.
So,
Oh.
but the songwriter credit is to Michael Isbell.
Why is
Interesting.
that?
I don't know. That is interesting though. But that song,
That's a great line.
yeah. I mean that whole concept.
Yeah.
That's great. Okay, we're down to number 2. Polly.
Number 2, Wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald.
Lake Huron rolls, Superior sings in the rooms of her ice water mansion. Old Michigan steams like a young man's dreams. The islands and bays are for sportsmen. And farther below, Lake Ontario takes in what Lake Erie can send her. The iron boats go as the mariners all know, with the gales of November remembered.
Here comes this part.
In a musty old hall in Detroit, they prayed in the Maritime Sailors' Cathedral. The church bell chimed till it rang 29 times for each man on the Edmund Fitzgerald.
Wow. So let me ask you a question. What do these people have in common? What did Johnny Cash, Jimmy Buffett, Elvis Costello, John Lennon, and Bob Dylan have in common? They all said in separate interviews, they all said that their favorite songwriter was Gordon Lightfoot.
Yes, he is.
That's quite a compliment.
I mean, think about that. Johnny Cash, Jimmy Buffett, Elvis Costello, John Lennon, and Bob Dylan.
Yeah, that's pretty strong.
Wow. But that's
Pretty
Early
strong.
Morning Rain, and If You Could Read My Mind, Love, and just
Down.
Sundown. Yeah. Unbelievable. Okay, so, Austin, what is number 2?
The Ride by David Allen.
Oh, that's a great one.
I love that.
Another Hank Williams song.
About
Yeah.
Then he cried just south of Nashville, and he turned that car around. He said, "This is where you get off, boy, 'cause I'm going back to Alabama." As I stepped out of that Cadillac, I said, "Mister, many thanks." He said, "You don't have to call me Mister. The whole world called me Hank." He said, "Drifter, can you make folks cry when you play and sing? Have you paid your dues? Can you mourn the blues? Can you bend down guitar string?" He said, "Lord, can you make folks feel what you feel inside? But if you're big star bound, let me warn you, it's a long, hard ride."
David Allen Coe.
That's a good one.
That's great. Picking up the ghost of Hank, or being, hitchhiking and being picked up by the ghost of Hank Williams. I mean, it's a great concept. It's a great song.
That's a good choice.
Thank you.
Good choice.
Okay. We are down. Now, and by the way, The Ride was written by G. Gentry, who also wrote Seven Spanish Angels.
Which is a
That
great
would have been-
song.
that would have been
I
another
meant to
good
put
one.
That, but it's so hard to We'll have
That's
to
what
do
I'm
this
saying.
again.
2 through 10, it's
Yeah.
it's
I
hard
love
to-
Seven Spanish
to
Angels.
Yeah.
pick.
Okay, we are down to number one. We're down to number one. And we're going to mix the order just a little bit. And we're going to let Austin reveal his number one first. Now, tell us why you are choosing this number one. And then you can comment on it afterwards. But you need because you guys disagree. This is what the whole disagreement was about the other night over these two songs.
Well, mine is Poncho and Lefty by Townes Van Zandt. A bunch of different people recorded it. The Willie Nelson, Merle Haggard version is the one most people know, I think, though. But I like it because it's a really great story. The writing is very clever, and there's a lot of like spookiness around like him writing it. Like there's an interview with him where he says before he plays it, he's like, I wrote this song about 2 Mexican bandits I saw on the TV 2 weeks after I wrote the song. And he says the song just kind of came out of him, and like he wrote it in like 3 hours or something crazy quick like that. And he got pulled over by 2 policemen who their nicknames were Poncho and Lefty. And like, there's just a bunch of odd stuff about it.
All right, let's hear a little bit of it.
Lefty, he can't sing the blues all night long like he used to. The dusty Poncho bit down south ended up in Lefty's mouth.
That's the best.
Day they laid poor Poncho low. Lefty split for Ohio, where he got the bread to go. There ain't nobody knows. All the federales say they could have had him any day. We only let him slip away out of kindness, I suppose.
It's just one of those songs you feel, like even though you're not necessarily associated, or most people aren't associated with Mexican bandits or whatever, but it's kind of like you just feel it in your bones kind of thing. Which moms, you do too, I guess. I'm not going to say your name, but...
That is a great song.
That is a killer song.
And it, it's open to several forms of interpretation. So I
Yeah.
I love
think
that
there's-
line.
Like a lot of people think it's Pancho Villa, but
He says it was not.
he said, because in the song, Pancho gets hung, but Pancho Villa was assassinated, I think.
Right.
And so there's
But
there's a whole bunch of just,
Yeah.
you can kind of, it is what you want it to be.
And I think it's
I-
betrayal by Lefty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that line, the dust that Poncho bit down south ended up in Lefty's mouth.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what a killer line.
And like, like Poncho's dead and kind of glorified for being this bandit person, and Lefty's kind of alone in the city, living in a cheap hotel after he betrayed him.
Yeah. Bob Woodall says, another great choice, Austin.
Thank you.
Okay, so, dear,
Number one.
number one.
Number one story song.
And what day
And
is
what
this?
day is this? It was the 3rd of June.
And what is the song?
Ode to Billy Joe.
Number
Number
one
one.
story song from Polly.
It was the 3rd of June, another sleepy, dusty Delta day. I was out chopping cotton and my brother was baling hay. And at dinner time we stopped and walked back to the house to eat. And Mama hollered at the back door, y'all remember to wipe your feet. And then she said, I got some news this morning from Choctaw Ridge. Today, Billy Joe McAllister jumped off the Tallahatchie Bridge. Papa said to Mama as he passed around the black-eyed peas, well, Billy Joe never had a lick of sense. Pass the biscuits, please. There's 5 more acres in the lower 40 I got to plow. And Mama said it was a shame about Billy Joe anyhow. Seems like nothing ever comes to no good up on Choctaw Ridge. And now Billy Joe McAllister's jumped off the Tallahatchie Bridge.
That's the creepiest song.
This is very clever.
It's not creepy. Again, it's that melancholy thing, but she paints such a great picture, and it has that mystery. Like you're wondering about so many things in this song. And all these years later, people are still wondering. And I love that she doesn't do any interviews. When she left the industry, she left.
Bobby Gentry wrote that.
She also wrote Fancy.
Right.
So
I didn't know
she
that.
wrote that, and I read that when they record, this was like the demo that she sent in. She had not intended to sing it.
Really?
And she sent the demo in, and then they put the other music with that, and that's what we hear.
You know, and you guys have heard this story, but Jim Stafford, a longtime friend, and Jim was married to Bobby Gentry for a year. So who knows about that? But Jim Stafford is Spiders and Snakes, and Jim's very funny. And Jim, I heard him say in a show one night, Jim kind of talks like this, and he said, I was married to Bobby Gentry. I don't know if you know. She wrote "Ode to Billy Joe." I was married to her only for a year, but it was a whole year, and I never did find out what that kid did off that damn bridge. that is part of it, I guess. That you still don't. I think I know though. I think I know what happened because it ends up with. She's up there, picking flowers and throwing them into the muddy waters off the Tallahatchie. I think I know what happened.
All right, let's hear it.
Oh, you want me to say? Do you think you know what happened?
I don't know. I don't think
You like not knowing more than you want to come up with something.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think it's what a lot of people think it is.
That's why with that song, like as far as like not knowing, that's why I'm not a huge fan, because we talked about this before, I'm not a huge fan of music videos, because if you watch one and hear the song, then you think about that. You don't get to think about whatever you want it to be.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that.
So
I don't
it's
want to see the video.
I understand that the mystery is...
Because I picture, it's the way you interpret music. It's like, I don't want to see the video and what somebody else is thinking.
It's something different for everybody.
Yeah.
That's why your imagination is so great. You remember when you were little and you asked Mom and me, you said, can I watch the movie The Hunger Games? And you were about 12 or 13. And we said, yeah, after you read the book. And you said, I got to read the book? Yeah, read the book, then you watch the movie. So you read the book, and I remember when you watched the movie, and I said, so how'd you like it? And you said, it was good, but, they didn't put this part in, and this part was different, and they didn't put this part in, and they left out this part and that part. And I said, now you see why people say that the book is better than the movie, because your imagination, and honestly, there's not enough money to film what your imagination saw reading that book.
Yeah, that's true.
And you can't make a 30-hour movie. And so, but your imagination with that song, and American Pie. It has that same element where you just kind of don't know what that's about. So those are our top 10. Now,
Thank you for having us.
Well, absolutely. And we would like to see in your comments who do you think had the best number one, and who do you think had the best overall list? And just what are your comments about these lists? And I want to add one song that I was surprised that neither of you remembered. And it is a song that was written and sung by Elliot Lurie.
Who?
Elliot Lurie. And this is one that will last forever, too. Hit it, Matt.
And there's a girl
Oh,
in our town, and she works
Did not. I told you to
laying whiskey down. They say, Brandy, fetch another round. She serves them whiskey and wine. They say, Brandy, you're a fine girl. What a good wife you would be. Such a fine yeah, your eyes could steal a sailor from the sea.
That was Looking Glass was the group, but Elliot Lurie is the guy who was in Looking Glass and sang it.
good song.
I'll be
Yeah,
darned.
great song. Well, thank you guys so much
Thank you.
for being.
I'm glad we kept it a little more civil than we did the other
No,
night.
You
this
guys
was
behaved yourselves.
very
We got
civilized.
a studio full of people here, and
Yeah.
and you guys were just, I think, nice because you're being watched.
Yeah.
So, but you can shake hands and hug and kiss and, tell each other you're sorry for how rude you acted.
All good fun. We'll do round 2 tonight.
Yeah. Well, we'll get another one going. I think I would like. And Dan Stone says any list with Elvis on it wins.
I knew I lost his vote. When,
Judson Perkins says Austin wins both categories.
Oh, all right.
Because of those new songs.
Cat
Judson.
Hooker says it was a tie. So,
That's pretty diplomatic.
well, I really appreciate you guys doing this. I think this was an awesome show. Everybody seems to agree, and I think I want to sometime soon. I want to do a show with the top 10 story songs you've never heard.
I've got a couple of those, I'll bet.
Well, you can come do it with me. All right. Thank you guys very much. Be sure to share this episode. And we appreciate you being with us. Appreciate you guys being here. And we will see you. Today's Thursday? Today is Thursday. We'll see you Tuesday. Bye-bye.